to another 31 Days of Horror video dealing with the Toronto After Dark Film Festival 2014. This film is the second film in the time travel theme night, and yet again, something I enjoyed quite a bit. The film was the feature debut from writer-director Bradley King called Time Lapse. It essentially starred three actors: Matt O'Leary, who has an active career which started in genre film with the starring role in the TV movie Mum's Got a Date with a Vampire. I've never seen it. But it continued on with Frailty. He was the young Fenton. And then as Gary Giggles from the Spy Kids movies. He had a small role in James Wan's Death Sentence. And then major roles in the thriller Solstice, and then Sorority Row and Mother's Day. George Finn has had a bunch of small roles in film and television before taking on Time Lapse, but nothing major. Nothing you would recognize him from. But then there's Danielle Panabaker, who on top of, small roles in television, managed major parts in the film Mr. Brooks, the television show Shark, a couple of remakes in Friday the 13th and The Crazies. Then she was in John Carpenter's The Ward, and then she had the lead in Piranha 3DD. But honestly, the one thing that I love is after Time Lapse, fans may now know her as Caitlin Snow from the new series The Flash. Not bad, eh? Not bad. So, with the cast of actors who have had a fair bit of experience already, it shouldn't come as any surprise to find that the acting in the film is very good. Any character problems I have with the film aren't a result of what the actors did, but rather from the writing and directing, which, isn't surprising considering first-time feature director. The film is about three housemates. There's a boyfriend, girlfriend, and then a best friend. The boyfriend is essentially like a caretaker of this small housing complex, so he's often having to go into neighbors' homes to fix things like clogged toilets and such. When one such occasion has his girlfriend checking on a neighbor who hasn't paid his rent, ends up having this bizarre discovery. A giant, half-room size giant camera is pointing directly at the front window of their unit, and there are like Polaroids all over the wall of them, of their window. Now, it doesn't take long for them to discover that this camera actually takes pictures of events that happen 24 hours in the future. Interesting, eh? Using that knowledge and the gambling contacts from the best friend, they quickly put this new piece of technology to use for their benefit. You can see where this is going, right? Of course, we get some conflict, and eventually the film climaxes into a full-on timey-wimey clusterfuck of a reveal, like any good movie dealing with the time continuum should. Time Lapse isn't completely original. as there are other films and television that tend to deal with similar subject matter. But it does do an extremely good job of not only creating an entertaining film, but giving one hell of a fun and bonkers climax. It's all about the climax. The set design, the prop work, not to mention continuity work, was just bang on, considering the budget and the scope, and of course the experience of the writer-director. I was quite surprised by this movie, but I do have one beef with the film, and that comes from the sudden, unexpected, and unexplained change in one of the characters' demeanor. Essentially, at the end of the film. But while it's somewhat out of place, honestly, it did make for some hilarity and ended the film on a high note. So, yeah, can't fault it too much. Time, it's not an easy thing to get right. But when you use it properly, it can be magic. And magic is a wonderful thing. If you get the chance, I highly recommend watching Time Lapse. Just prepare your brain for the ending. Until next video, guys, take care. Have a good one.